Maybe if a nice guy wishes something very useful instead of the girl of his dreams would love him more than anything in the world would be a better place. Hello guys, I'm Divina and I'm here to talk about movie Obsession for the successful full-on movie from YouTuber Curry Barker. And this movie is like 50 Days of Summer and Nice Guy Reddit Gone Wrong. It starts with the main character Bear rehearsing, tell his love for Nikki to a waitress until his best friend Ian says a bad idea. That actually he should ask for a drink instead. He comes at home and finds his cat Sandy dead by consuming many pills in his place. Then he was
The film stars Michael Johnson as Bear.
Profile social media until he gets a call for her and she invites him to trivia night, even though he doesn't want to. But when she says she'll give it 2 weeks notice, it changes his mind completely. During the call, Nikki's necklace falls in drainer and he goes to buy
One Wish Willow, a novelty toy from one of those bullshit witchy stores selling overpriced crystals and dream catchers made in Taiwan that claims to grant one wish to whoever uses it. And loser who works at a music store with a bunch of friends, including Nikki, who he's madly in love.
Suggests give a ride to Nikki back to her place. And they have a conversation.
This comes down to a pair of excellent performances from the two leads, especially Indy Navarrete as Nikki.
And then Nikki, she asks him if he really likes her, and he lies. He just likes her as a friend. But actually, we know he has real feelings for her for many years. And then comes
he wishes for her to love him more than anyone else in the world. A simple, charmingly naive request from a man at the end of it.
Her love handed anything in the world. And that's when everything changes. Behavior changes. Certainly, she says that she saw her father had cancer and she needed some company. So she dresses and she comes to his place. But barely he knew that her behavior and everything would be changed forever.
All the way up to murder by the ends.
She makes this kind of smile too. Next night she comes to his place apologizing that actually she was drunk and everything was alright. And she tells her her feelings, and that's when he says he loves her too, and they start a romantic relationship as he wishes of his dreams he had. Times go by, they're really close. His best friend Ian gets very suspicious because they all work together in the same, music instruments shop, and they're very close, and he's very suspicious about her behavior, how very touching, how she really didn't really have feelings for him before. In the famous dinner day night, he gets a call from his friend Ian. He tells him that Bear, actually her father he's very healthy. So it doesn't make sense what she's saying actually. And then he comes back to the table and tells her tell the truth about her dad, and that's when
Who really sell the believability of this increasingly toxic and fucked up relationship?
As time goes by, her behavior gets worse. She behaves more obsessive.
The threat of what might happen rather than what actually does.
Great actress in the novelette, because she goes from the sweet, submissive girlfriend to the paranoid, obsessed girl, crazy, and she has a few moments of going mini scream, and suddenly she apologizes and becomes sweet again to him. Suddenly she screams to him because she's desperate that he doesn't correspond his feelings to her. The cat is kind of important character, but Dale's no longer alive because she gets the cat that was in the trash back to the apartment and make her like a funeral ceremonial, and also because he
world where the properties of this thing seem to be well understood and just kind of
put the cat's parts inside his own sandwich. He discovers that at the work. During the movie, we realize that actually Bear is the obsessed one, because he's extremely passive. He doesn't make much to take control situation and anything to fix like that most of the times. There's one time he calls the Wish service, but he finds out that the only way to change is he kills himself or her actually. And also initially he's so excited to have her, he's like that he actually didn't really want to change the situation. He was very glad to have his Medipix girl dream by his side, that he doesn't really take any responsibility, even though she goes beyond the limits of sanity, Well guys, I'm gonna say more as the story goes on. I'm going to say more details, so if you haven't watched the movie, do we come back here, and here's the part that we go spoilers aboard. Nikki harms herself, but Bear acts passive and scared to the situation. Doing his friend
Supernatural and a healthy dose of gory slasher flick mix, and even question who the villain really is.
Back home, he gets some task message for Sarah, and that's one of the saddest moments of the movie, because he silently is on the bed, and then there's a real Nikki, a real personality, talks during her sleep, and she backs to take out her life, but he denies, because how could be bad be with him, and really shows the selfish behavior of his part. All he cares about himself. He doesn't care about her at all, in my personal opinion. Inside the car, Bear and Sarah, they talk about her application of college, and then she tells him that he and Nikki had hooked up in the past. They had a thing, and she implies that she has feelings for him. But then comes Nikki, smash the window, and get Sarah head, and
though there is one or two wonderfully gory
times against a brick, inside the car. He opens a letter showing this she was accepted her dream college, and he screams out totally desperation. Desperate, he buys other wish sticks in a store. When the guy the salesman, he tells him that actually he's only able to do one per wish, because he tries to break, but he's not able to, because it's one wish per person. That's why he's not able to break it. And that's when he suggests him to use it on someone else to do it. That's when he gets in.
Turns to the one Wish Willow, hoping to cancel his wish, only to find out that the wish lasts until one of them dies.
So he doesn't believe, and he makes one for himself. The end is very bitter and sad, as you know. As back home, he doesn't know what to do. As Sarah's corpse is there, he just try to get in, talk with them, but he gets deadly kissing the gun. And Bear doesn't know what to do. He tries to use a gun against himself, but not able to. But actually, he prefers to do it just like his cat did, just in a bunch of pills. But Nikki, she makes the wish stick and comes to her, and then dies, and she comes back to her senses, and she screams, crying desperately. That's how the movie becomes. The end. That's one of the most interesting movies I've ever seen. I love the sense of humor he adds, and the acting, especially the characters of Nick and Sarah. They are very good actresses. I really like how, it's a light sense of humor, but it's not about you make you laugh, but you make you feel uncomfortable. Actually, many horror moments you feel very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable comedy he uses during his film. And I really like how this movie has this dream guy has crush on this girl and tries to make it, but in the end it goes everything against his wish, and it should be happy, And as I said before, it's like 500 Days with Summer. Shows the similar thing, and also this guy read it because that's how their behavior is. And also how this story and everything is about the main character. He's a nice guy and just want to be loved by his girl, but instead of doing something about it, actually he makes her love him against her will, and the consequences are drastic about it. Anyway, so I have to say, I give this movie a 9. Very worthy watching. I had done twice. So, you love this obsession? Let me know in the comments anymore. And like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share. Leave your comment below about other horror movies. And that's all I have to say. Until then.